Ginaw Bilog. Born on January 3, 1953, Bilog was a Hanunuo Mangyan who was a native of Mansalay Oriental, Mindoro. He was known for his efforts in preserving the Mangyan poetry tradition of Ambahan. Most treasured of his collections are those inherited from his father and grandfather, sources of inspiration and guidance for his creative endeavors. Then, President Fidel V. Ramos conferred the National Living Treasure Award to Ginaw Bilog on December 17, 1993 in recognition of his people's preservation efforts of the Ambahan poetry, which is recorded on bamboo. Some of his excerpts are, "So you will be going now, starting on a journey far. Your eyes will enjoy the trip, many things you will behold. But I, who will stay behind, here within this four-walled room, what thoughts could I entertain? Just looking up at the roof, just looking down at the floor." Paz Manguera Lotorena was born on January 17, 1908 in Buwak, Marinduque. In 1926, she took up education at the University of the Philippines in Manila, where she also attended a short story writing class under Paz Marquez Benitez. Lotorena also wrote poetry under the name Maynalise, which according to Tanlayco, had a romantic significance for the then young writer. Before the end of the year 1927 ended, she won the third prize in Jose Garcia Villa Rolls of Honor for the best stories of 1927 for her story The Small Key. In her doctoral dissertation, Philippine Literature in English, Old Voices and New, received the highest rating of sobresaliente. Some of her works include The Small Key, Christmas Tale, and Literary Apprentice. Some of her excerpts from The Small Key is, "It was very warm. The sun, up above a sky that was blue and tremendous, and beckoning to birds ever on the wing, shone bright as if determined to scorch everything under heaven, even the low square nipa house that stood in an ashamed relief against the green haze of grass and leaves."
John Erenil Teodoro. Born to a middle-class family in Antique Province, Teodoro gained early recognition as a creative writer since his college years. He writes in 4 languages, namely English, Filipino, Hiligaynon, and Kinaraya. He is a member of the Alan Collective and the Tabig or Hubon Manunulat Antique. Many of his literary works have been published in some of the country's leading journals, magazines, and newspapers like Ani, Idea, Thomas, Agung, The Daily Tribune, and Liwayway. Teodoro is a 5-time awardee of the Palanca Awards and has published countless books of fictions and poetry. His new essays in Filipino can be read in his blog Pagmumuni-muni ni Putri Duyong. One of his famous works include Unang Ulan ng Mayo. Here is an excerpt from Unang Ulan ng Mayo. Noong bata pa, naalala ko ang sayang nadarama kapag pinapayagan ni ina na pwede akong maglarot ng tampisaw tuwing umuulan. Ano nga bang hiwagang mayroon ang mga patak ng tubig galing sa kalangitan at nakadaragdag sa tuwa't saya naming magkakaibigan habang naglalaro at naghahabulan sa lansangan. Nestor Vicente Gonzalez. He was born on 8 September 1915 in Romblon, Philippines. However, he was raised in Mansalay, a southern town of the Philippines province of Oriental Mindoro. His first published essay appeared in the Philippine Graphic and his first poem and poetry in 1934. Gonzalez made his mark in the Philippine writing community as a member of the Board of Advisors of Likhaan, the University of the Philippines Creative Writing Center, founding editor of the Diliman Review, and as the first president of the Philippine Writers Association. Gonzalez attended creative writing classes under Wallace Stegner and Catherine Ann Porter at Stanford University. His name became famous under the different literary pieces such as novels, short fiction, and essays. Here are some examples of novels: The Wind of April in 1941, The Bamboo Dancers in 1988, and The Happiest Boy in the World. For the short fiction, he had A Grammar of Dreams and the Other Stories, The Bread of Salt and the Other Stories of Seattle, Mindoro and Beyond 21 Stories, and Selected Stories, even Children of the Ash, and The 7 Hills Away, Denver, Colorado. For essays, he had a novel of Justice and work Off the Mountain, which includes The Father and the Maid, about an essay of Filipino life and letter, and Kalutang. Here is an excerpt from The Winds of April. As turbulent as the winds can be, at times he finds himself stuck in one place and unable to harness the fulfillment of his dreams. But like an outrigger, he manages to keep himself afloat in the midst of troubled waters, waiting for the wind to come down and to embark a new beginning while hanging onto the old dreams.